Hello, my name is Nell, and I have things to say about disability, chronic illness, and mental health. I live with all of these things, and I'm certainly not the only one. And I want to make sure that these things are spoken about and not swept under the rug. And I'm doing that by adding my voice to the many other wonderful voices who are speaking openly about these things and raising awareness. Now, if that sounds like something that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel. Come back every Wednesday when I upload new videos. Let me know what you think of my videos in the comments section, and if you know of somebody who would benefit from or enjoy one of my videos, please feel free to share it with them. Now, today I want to talk about what it feels like to be a young pensioner and how that affects my sense of self, my sense of worth, and my sense of value. Now, I've been on a pension, on the disability pension, since I was 21. I think I was 21 just before I turned 22 when I was accepted on the disability pension. And I've never had a job. Prior to the disability pension, I was always on some kind of government allowance because I was either a student, a high school student, and on youth allowance, and with undiagnosed chronic illness, I was not well enough to have a part-time job after school, or I was a university student and on student allowance, and again, not well enough to have a part-time job. And when I started getting sicker and sicker, I could not keep up with my university studies. So it jeopardized my income because I was not attending university, and so I was not eligible for my student allowance. So my doctor and I had to start putting in 6-month exemptions. And in every 6-month exemption, she wrote that I would most likely recover within 6 months. And after 18 months of that, we realized this wasn't going to happen. So we had to apply for the disability pension. And as a 21-year-old, it is incredibly confronting to have to declare and be assessed and have it down in black and white, saying that I am incapable of earning an income. I am so broken, so weak, so devoid of skills. So I'm so abnormal. I can't do it. And it's there on black and white. You can't do it. You can't do that normal thing of going to work and earning a paycheck. It's a strange kind of humiliating. And at the same time, I am incredibly grateful for the disability pension because without it, I would starve. I would not be able to afford anything because I don't have any other way of earning a solid income. But it is confronting as a young person to be basically told that young, you have no prospects. You have no future. You're entirely dependent on this government welfare system for everything because you cannot earn it yourself. You are incapable of earning it yourself. Now, over the years, I've tried to have little ways of getting little bits of pocket money. I sew and I'm very good at sewing. And so in the past, I have made rag dolls and I've made stuffed toys. But again, people don't want to pay what craft is worth. And so I've sold a rag doll and then I've calculated later how many hours I spent on it. And I've realized I've paid myself $1.50 an hour. Not really enough to keep myself afloat. I am trying to work at balancing, time spent sewing versus money that I can charge so that it's a little bit more balanced while still keeping within the limitations that my pension allows me to earn. My pension allows me to earn some money without affecting my pension. So I'm trying to figure out ways of earning some kind of supplementary income without affecting my pension. And the other day I did some busking and I was there for a while and I earned a nice little purse of money and I wanted to cry because I did something with a skill and I received money for that skill. Again, not enough to live off. Nowhere near enough to live off, but enough to think I might be able to put something nice in my groceries this week. But it is really hard as a young person to be on a disability pension and to look at your future and think, I probably won't be able to, buy a house, But not only just buy a house, but rent a home. Renting a home is difficult when your your income is essentially skirting the poverty line, which is what the disability support pension is. And a partner payment, which is what happens when you are in a partnership, is below the poverty line. That's what happens. That's where Australian welfare is. It's either scraping or below the poverty line. It does a lot to your brain, and it does a lot to your self-worth to be facing that as a young person. So I just realized how close I was to the screen. I seem to lean in very close as I speak. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I think it's just a very, very interesting experience that you can't imagine what it's like unless you live it. To have that just stretching out ahead of you when you are young. Yeah. Retiring and being on a pension is hard enough when you are older and you've had a lifetime of working and saving behind you. But when you are young and you basically have all prospects stripped away from you, it is a completely different experience. That's all for this one. I would really appreciate hearing your experiences with being a young pensioner. I would really appreciate hearing that. Right. That's all for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Bless.